For my learning service project, I worked with an organization called the Women's Nonprofit Alliance. They are an organization that offers support to Christian women that are organizing or developing their own nonprofit. They currently have around 40 to 50 underneath them in there that they work with. They offer services such as 501c3 operating support underneath their umbrella so that the other nonprofits can get all the tax benefits. They also offer back office support such as accounting, payroll, some HR, not really, but resources. Then they also offer coaching and access to grants that they have. Then also resources and training, coaching, or not coaching, but mentoring and that sort of thing to other, you don't have to be underneath their 501c3 to receive that. They have a staff of 8, about 8 or 9. They originally started as a women's ministry leadership program and developed for resources and help to women's ministry leaders. And then about 15 years ago, they turned into the nonprofit and did that. So for entrepreneurship and creativity, there are 3 different types of entrepreneurships. You have your basic one. So person decides to start their own business or finds an opportunity that they want to dive into and begins it. They make all the decisions leading up to the planning of starting the new business. There is social entrepreneurship, which is what the Women's Nonprofit Alliance is. They pursue opportunities for social change and improving society, social problems, that sort of thing. The neat thing about Women's Nonprofit Alliance, not only are they a social entrepreneur, but they develop and help other social entrepreneurs come into play. So that's really cool. Then there's the entrepreneur, which is someone that works in an organization, usually a manager, researcher, developer, that sort of thing, that find a product or a service that the company they're under needs to develop and create. Now, if those people aren't allowed to do that creating, they will usually leave that company and find someone that they can, or they will start their own organization. They just have that big desire and sense of need to do that. There are 4 basic characteristics, personality traits that a entrepreneur will possess. So you have high levels of openness to experience. They're risk takers, original thinkers. They're going to jump out and do it. High levels of internal locus of control, which means that they have a really strong belief of their being responsible for their own actions. They're going to be determined to get what they want done. They're going to take accountability for their own failure and success. Then you have high levels of self-esteem, so very capable, assured of themselves, stress doesn't bother them. And then you have the need for assessment, which you are a high level of that, strong desire to perform, kind of overachievers. They want to be, they have higher standards and expectations of themselves. So then you have, for entrepreneurs, there are the product champs, and those are the ones that are going to take ownership of the project of developing that new product or whatever, and they are going to lead it and give the vision for it. You have the skunk workers, my favorite, who are a group of individuals that get taken from the regular type of work going into the to focus 100% on the new product and development. And you also get rewards businesses give rewards for product and development, that sort of entrepreneurship spirit through business, so bonuses, stock options, and usually promotions. Going back to Women's Nonprofit Alliance, they are ones that help coach the nonprofit other leaders and founders through the planning and organization process. They also take over that partnership experience for the and do the management for the new nonprofit, so they can kind of partner and come alongside them. So that's one of their neat things of being a dual. I feel like they're a dual entrepreneur and have some entrepreneurship spirit in there. And then just the planning and organizing and coaching someone through the developmental stage. And they also did it all themselves. They've put their stamp on their own. They switched gears when they realized it needed to be changed, and have been able to do their own development. So then kind of going into determining mission and goals. The first step in the planning and organization strategy is missions and goals. So you have planning, which you're going to identify your course of action and your plan of steps that you're going to take. You're going to set your mission statement, which is going to be organizing your purpose and identifying what products and customers or clients that you're going to serve. And then what is going to make you stand out? Why are you superior to the others out there doing the same thing? You're also going to define your business. What are your customers? What are their needs? And then how are your business going to meet those needs? When you establish your major goals, they're going to be giving your sense of direction and purpose. With that, you want the goals to be both ambitious yet challenging. So, kind of give somebody something to shoot for and make them work, because people want challenges, as well as realistic and obtainable. So you don't want to set the standard so high that people get discouraged trying to reach it. You also want to make sure that you have a set time period for the goals to be accomplished. For Women's Nonprofit Alliance, they not only develop their own mission statement and goals. Again, I said they were once a different organization, so they then came in when they realized that was no longer meeting their needs and their customers, clients' needs. They switched focus and became into the Women's Nonprofit Alliance and went after nonprofits and helped them. So they set all of that up themselves, and then they turn around and help others do that. They offer yearly training and workshops for their staff and their clients to help them set their goals, cast their visions, and implement what they need to. They also have a yearly staff retreat for the WNPA staff members, and that allows them time to get away to reflect on the past year, as well as set the new upcoming year's goals and mission statements. And not only that, but the founder of the organization is an amazing vision caster and offers great strategic leadership, not only to her staff and the volunteers underneath her, but also to all those that come in to be mentored and led. She's just a really great individual that has a very strong gifting in that. Then Switching over to traits and behavior models, they began studying these different models in the mid 20th century. They began with basically focusing on trait models. That was their first. So, what characteristic traits do the leaders possess? And they kind of decided that there was intelligence. They all possessed intelligence, knowledge and experience, dominance, which is just their influence, being influential and able to get those around them to achieve their goals. Self-confidence, high level of energy, a really high level of tolerance for stress, and then strong integrity and honesty. That's huge. And maturity. They then went into, when they kind of realized that there was more to it, they went into the leadership or behavior trait models. They came up with 2 of those. So you have one is consideration, and that involves the relationship side of invoking trust and respect and care for your employees. And then the other was initiating structure. So that is making sure the work is getting done and the job performance is acceptable, that your people are being efficient and effective and getting all the tasks done. It's more task oriented than relational. Those 2 different traits they found are independent behaviors. So you can either highly possess both of them, or they can be interrelated. So you can be high in one and low in the other. Then there became 3 other models that they started developing, and they actually relate somewhat to the consideration and initiation structure. So the first one, and I'm going to refer to them in those respective orders. So ones that I say first line up with the consideration, the others are lining up with the initiation structure. So you have employee-centered and job-oriented behaviors. And then the next one was concern for people. So again, more people-oriented. And then the products, concern for products. So, and then the third one was supportive and task-oriented behaviors. So again, you have that personality and the more job-driven side. Now, these are not always clear-cut. They kind of go back and forth with what your employees you have on staff. So you can kind of give and take some. For Women's Nonprofit Alliance, they have the leadership behaviors start with the founder. She is strong at developing consideration, a lot of strength and trust and engagement. She really gets to know her staff and her employees, but she also has her staff able to engage in the other side, the work-related side, what needs to get done, how it needs to get done, timelines, deadlines, that sort of thing. And then, they display, and not only do they have these leadership skills, but they're also, again, teaching other leaders and entrepreneurs to have these skills. So it's really neat to see not only them doing them, but them also offering the teaching. So you kind of gain a lot. And I gained a lot personally. My impact working with them and learning through them was just getting to spend time with amazing Christian women. I got fed spiritually and relationally. I gained friendships and knowledge around the different types of leader I want to be and the organizations I want to work for. And then just a sense of awe on what Christian women who have a purpose and a mission and a sense of service can accomplish. They're just amazing. For my career, I got to work with other cultures, people in other cultures, so that got that experience. I learned where I thrive under what type of leadership. I got to communicate with different business entities and organizations in the service mindset and not necessarily business to business. And then just really getting to see what a service leader looks like, what service leadership in action actually looks like, and how to start beginning to be that person. So that's my project. Thanks.